and welcome to Loot Level Chat, episode 26. My name's Adam Cook, and I'm here with Stephen, Lyle, and Mick. How are you, everyone?
Hello.
AI
Hello,
voice,
everyone.
Yeah, good dude, you.
Yeah, I sort of went into an AI voice then. How are you, everyone?
How
Super
are
good.
you, everyone?
Yeah.
Good,
Super
yes.
good.
Thanks,
What a
Adam.
world.
It's
Hey, Adam,
when
does Domino's
whenever you're
close?
listening. Shouldn't say
When does
that.
Domino's go? Are you asking me?
Oh, I assumed we were just taking the point at Google, so it's fine.
Hang on.
Come on, AI voices, Adam, come on.
Hang on. No, you've confused
That
me.
wasn't a judgment on all people who would know
no,
it's
no,
Adam.
No.
He
I
was-
did think that a little bit, but that wasn't. What I'm asking is, so you would Google what time Domino's shut?
He didn't ask when the fucking gym shut, did he? Do you know what I mean? That was so.
No,
like
that's
he
not-
says he wasn't
Nick's got a fair
pointing,
point.
but let's be
No,
honest.
that's not either. That's also not what I'm getting at. So you would
I thought it
Google
would be.
when did Domino's shut?
Mate, I Google every Google search I ever do.
All right. So,
I've
so
talked
let's
to
say
it.
you get the
I
reply.
just-
I always Google my Google searches. It works
Okay,
better.
but hang
When
on,
you
hang on.
fucking start? It's been a long day.
You get the reply. It shuts at 10 o'clock on the Google. Blah blah blah. And so you're right. You can order Domino's. How do you order that Domino's?
Do it on the app.
So can't you make the AI do it?
Can't
When
you
does
just look on
Domino's
the app at
close?
the
Possibly.
times?
Domino's closes at 2 a.m. Order me a large.
Should
actually
say-
quite
So
full
do you pick
Maggio.
up your phone for every Google search?
Yeah, I don't talk to the
Yeah.
AI.
What-
I do
what
it constantly. Like, if my phone's like there,
This
I'll
is
just shout
this
at
is
it.
why the AI is starting to take over because people
I
like you
have to
bring it up
say-
to our level.
Steve's
Mick.
fault, yeah.
Mick, I have to say, I've seen him do that, and it's like I've never seen anyone else do it. I know it's
I've
a
never
thing
seen
because there's
anyone
adverts on
use the
TV. that do
Siri
it.
or the Alexa or like
Oh,
in the
God,
adverts.
people's iPods
yes.
get mad right now.
What about,
I
like,
never-
just changing tunes on Spotify and stuff?
I use my
hands.
fingers.
Invariably, like, I'm in the kitchen and I'll be chopping and doing stuff, and I'll just shout at
That's
it.
fair enough.
Yeah, but that's like
If
one
you're
example.
using
I'll
your
do it if I'm
hands
just sat
already-
there and I'm playing a game. I'll just ask it shit.
Yeah, if you're
Like
using your
what?
hands already, like sometimes
I
I'll
don't know,
tell
whatever
the
I'm
AI
thinking
to
at the time.
scroll Pornhub for me because it saves me putting the sock down.
Yeah.
You can't do that now, Mick. You
It
need
saves
to
the
have
screen
proven-
smear.
You've got to prove you're over 18 now to use that website, I believe.
I know I'm
believe
over
I wouldn't.
18. I've been on it for over 18 years. I think.
That's a thought. I
I mean,
want to talk about games, but I also sort of want to know the stuff Steve Googles or
oh,
So-
I thought you were taking that in a different
no,
Yeah, I
no,
wondered
no,
where that
no,
was going then.
No. Again, mine's out the gutter, listeners, and you three, obviously. So you're playing a game and you'll just be Googling stuff.
I'll be thinking, oh, I wonder who made this album in 1997. I'll just ask
What?
it.
Sorry, hang on. What album when you're playing a game?
I don't know.
Steve has wild random thoughts. His brain doesn't stop for anything.
No, it
for any
doesn't.
man.
Actually. My brain's all over the shop all
Listen,
the time.
Tangential
I understand. I understand that completely, but I've never just gone, oh, here I am playing Borderlands 4, and suddenly I go, what year? What album came out the day I was born? That's
Oh, mate, my brain is doing that 24/7.
we need to study your brain.
Now,
That
see, I
needs
was
to
playing
fucking
Borderlands 4 the other night, and I spent ages trying to find out, and I couldn't think. It was either Jennifer Hale or it was Laura Bailey, and I still don't know
Oh,
because
I
they
don't
still
like
haven't
where this is
released.
going.
They still haven't released the cast list, and
Oh, okay.
the Vex Siren is either. I'm sure it's fucking Laura Bailey. Does the boss in Saints Row the Third?
Can I just check? We're doing game chat. We're talking about games now, right? The banter
I'm talking
section's
about
over.
games. This is
We're doing.
Borderlands 4.
Yeah, I'm just
well,
checking. Yeah.
You know,
No, I just
I'm-
want
I
to.
like this how we have
discussing-
to have a defined banter section.
You've got to get a minute or two in at the start.
Adam allots 4.5 minutes for
Maximum.
banter.
There will be no more joy after this
And
moment.
that can be what the weather's
No.
like. It can be Pornhub, apparently. It can be shower thoughts or Steve
You let
thoughts.
me on.
It can be anything. But
Steve shower thoughts combined.
Steve shower thoughts and Pornhub.
Bad time for anyone.
shower time's another time where I think it's fine if you've got your phone in there and you're listening to music and stuff. Like again, your wet hands on a phone's not ideal.
It just don't work, does it?
I just sing in the shower instead.
To your phone.
Or have imaginary arguments with people. That's a favourite in the shower.
And then you get out of the shower really angry afterwards.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
You
What
don't-
do you mean?
I do imaginary arguments, imaginary interviews sometimes.
What? What's going on? How?
Yeah.
Mixed
I've been on
showers,
Conan
man.
O'Brien multiple times.
Oh, I see. You're sort of projecting, imagining you're on the sofa with.
Yeah.
One of
I do the
them
other person's
American
voice
interviewees.
sometimes. Sometimes there's multiple voices.
Which
When-
makes me wonder as well, Adam, do you just get in the shower and just brain off and just
When-
shower?
Yes, and our reason being, right, when I was, so in another lifetime, I was a postman, and often people's bathrooms or shower rooms would be sort of front of the house, So as you walk past the post. God, how dare I? Post through a letterbox, you would hear the shout shh and people making noise. So I'm kind of hyper aware of.
Oh, it wouldn't bother me.
It didn't bother me. I thought it was funny. I mean,
if you come within earshot of my windows, it's your problem.
The best one would be like when you walk past, you hear the shower, and then you just hear a oh like that, and then like it's like all echoey because of that. Like, that would be a brilliant one. Oh, the stories I could tell you.
Our neighbour, they've got they're an elderly couple, and they've got a garden set right outside our bathroom window. And they must have heard.
Oh man!
You see, this is what now it makes you start thinking, doesn't it? Anyway, we've gone well over the 4.5 minutes now.
Damn it, we've got to restart, everyone.
I'll have to edit this somehow to get it under.
No, it all stays in. You know that.
Yeah, it does. We should talk about it though, because I genuinely am really excited. What I want to preface this by saying, and it might be completely irrelevant, but just for the record at this moment in time, we did try to get hold of PlayStation 5 code for this as well, but to my knowledge, nobody had access to the console version before embargo. So everything we've played is on PC. Now, I only say that because in the past, some of the Borderlands games have been a bit rough to start in terms of console launches and stuff. And by all accounts, Mick's review, if you read it on lootlevelchill.com, 9 out of 10, by the way. So it's a very good game. Get that out of the way at the start. But it's worth mentioning that you did refer to some bugs and it was patched a lot. So it's not something I'm like expecting. Well, at the point we're recording tomorrow, I think people to be like, "Oh my god, it's broken." But as the caveat that we've only had access to PC version. Yeah. But for a while, to be fair.
Oh yeah, we had it for a while. It's remarkably stable.
Mention that too. Okay.
It's remarkably stable. And I say this without meaning it to sound the way it does, but for a Borderlands game at launch, it's remarkably stable. So I had some issues with it. When I first started playing, I always do the thing where I whack all the settings up to see if it will run, which I struggled with a little bit. So I dialed some of them back. And it was better. And I thought, I wonder if it gets better if I dial it back again. So I did, and it didn't. And then I dialed it right back as much as I could, and it was still the same. So I think there were some issues with like the optimization. But like Adam said, it has had a massive pre-release patch. I think there's a day one patch. Don't quote me, but I'm sure there's a day one patch. So I'm pretty sure that so there were little bugs and things like, the GPS thing on the map would sort of do its own thing sometimes. So I'd be trying to see where to go, and it would just be sort of looping back to where I was. It was little bugs like that, which I think they'll nip in the bud.
And do you know what I think that this might, because I think when tomorrow comes and people play the console version, they'll be like, "Oh, it's absolutely fine. There's nothing wrong with it at all." In fact, I've seen a few people who've got like early copies in the wild, and they're like, "Yeah, it's really rock solid." I wonder if it's an element of, so when you have a PC build of a game, you can kind of patch it as much as you want. It's a Steam thing, isn't it? Whereas with a console version, you have to keep putting patches through submission processes. And I wonder if they were just like, this is some publishers and developers don't trust. That's the wrong word. Trust, because they give you access, but they don't assume that the media know how that all works.
Yeah,
and so sometimes that can happen.
Look at when Ubisoft go, they give out early review code. Someone somewhere's got it in for them. They find a bug, they find a glitch, they leak it. Yeah. So I get why they protect the product the way they do, but I think that compared to I think it was probably, I don't know if it was Borderlands 3, if the last one was really quite broken at launch. One of them was, and I can't remember which one it was. But I
remember 3 having issues with frame rate on Xbox.
Yeah,
One X.
So that's what this was. The main issue I ran into on this was frame rate. The main issue was, and I said it in the preview, and I said it a little bit in the review as well. It's so this game is like the most, right? And it's just like you can't. So you've got a little. It's all right. People know Borderlands, right? I don't need to give too much of a background on what Borderlands is. It's the eponymous looter shooter. It is the kind of the one that started the looter shooter thing. I think they got steadily better until they hit a wall a little bit story-wise and with Borderlands 3. And then I think they brought it all back with sort of Tiny Tina's Wonderlands. And I said before, I think they've learned the right lessons from the franchise as a whole. Like, this doesn't feel like it's just the greatest hits of Borderlands. It feels like for the first time, they've actually gone, what should we actually add to Borderlands that makes the experience better?
Okay.
What does and more importantly, what should we take away that was dragging the experience down? So there's
does it look? Sorry, Mick, but I'm a big fan of the series, like yourself, unapologetically so. I enjoy the shooting, I enjoy the exploration, I enjoy the co-op nature of it. It's when people talk about like podcast games or chit chat games where you play with your mates. This is whatever. This is to me. So something I noticed, and I have actually avoided too much of it because I'm a big fan and I want to play it fresh. But I have watched your plug here 1 minute review, the video you captured of the game on YouTube at Loot Level Chill. It does look different to my eye, like even the UI, like the health bar, everything. And not like drastically. It's still a health bar that reduces, but it does look.
They've sanded off a lot of rough edges, I feel like, and that's so everything's a bit more streamlined. Like I remember, I think it was Borderlands 3. I felt like the HUD was a little bit busy.
Yeah,
this has got a thing where it automatically hides the HUD after if you're not doing anything.
Cool.
It goes away.
In every game, man.
Yeah, so you can see what you're doing. But they've done this thing where it's open world, and a lot of the problem I found with particularly Borderlands 3 was even though it was open world, and even though you had a vehicle, they always made you have to sort of jump through hoops a bit for the vehicle. Like you have to go to a vehicle station, and the vehicle's kind of
always one of those tutorial missions early on that you have to do.
And they always controlled like tanks, and they always felt a bit ungainly. So this is, I feel like. And I feel like somebody at Gearbox has played a lot of Destiny 2 in the last few years, right? Because that's what the traversal feels like. So not only have you've got a grappling hook for a start, and these are not spoilers.
How does that work?
Foot in the door. So there's grapple points.
Right.
So you can't just grapple everywhere.
Okay.
So it's not a Halo Infinite situation where you just find a big rock and fire yourself off it.
No. So you've got two uses for the grappling hook, and one of them is awesome. So the two uses, it gives you it right away. There's no fucking about. You sort of finish the first introduction bit. You meet Claptrap as usual. He's always your guide for the first sort of half hour, 40 minutes, and then literally the next few people you meet are like, here, take this grappling hook. Here, take this jetpack. Here, why don't you take it? And so like, but the grappling hook. So you've got specific grapple points on the map, which just help you get to higher areas. That's all they're for. And some of you can swing. You can swing like across the battlefield.
They're not really exploration-based things because they're obvious grapple points.
They kind of are. So right, again, there's also things like
you're not like hunting the edges of map and getting
no.
Secret places because there's a grapple.
Yeah, exactly. There's climbable walls. So you can just climb up certain walls. They're like grating, and you can climb up them. There's grapple points, but the grapple points will usually they'll usually get you to a position where you're above everything, and then because the second new traversal tool is a gliding jetpack. Once you're at that point where the grapple is, and you've got the world, this is a big world, by the way, and the scale is massive. Like there's some points where you'll stand on it's not so new these days, but there's points where you'll go up a grapple point, you'll stand on top of a building or whatever, a safe house, and you'll look around, and it's one of those things where it's like, I can go to that tiny settlement over there, or I can go and see what those explosions are over there, what these people are fighting over. It's that kind of world.
Is it giving you much guidance other than giving you things that are pretty to look at? Or is it a case of go and do what you want, you can do it in a non-linear fashion?
This is one of the things they've removed certain things like the mini-map, haven't they?
Yeah, so they've taken the mini-map away because I feel like they want you to explore. The problem with it is that, and this was my only real complaint, so that tells you how much I enjoyed the game, and still am enjoying the game. They took the mini-map away, and I think I vaguely remember Randy Pitchford saying something about the purpose of this was to encourage you to just explore and find things organically and see where you go. The trouble with that is this world is so fucking dense with stuff. Like there's very few just open spaces. There's always a monster cave or a monster hole, or there's, sometimes you'll stand still for a couple of seconds and a bubble will appear and then there's a boss in it, or one of the enemy dropships will just appear over your head and they'll just teleport down and start attacking you. Or sometimes a drill will burst from the ground and enemies will pour out of it. It doesn't give you fucking 5 minutes to stand still. So even though you've got this, it doesn't have a mini map. I tended to just use roads to travel a lot. And then when I saw some on the actual world map, like a question mark, I'd go off and explore. So I think it loses nothing by just giving you a mini map, by just having a mini map and let the icons pop up on there and put the GPS on it, because it has a GPS. This is the other thing. It's got a GPS system. You can click track and it'll put GPS, but it's on the main map. So you've got to open the main map, look at the GPS, and it's like, why do I need the GPS? Because I can see the road goes up and I turn right and turn right again and I'm there. Why do I need a GPS thing showing me that? I need the GPS on the mini-map. So when I'm blasting up the fucking hill, because it's got the hover bike is pretty much a Sparrow from Destiny. That's exactly how it feels. Like you press a trigger, you spawn it, it controls, it's got a speed boost, it's got a little it's just a Sparrow from Destiny. It's exactly that feel. So you jump into third person, you're on your hover bike, and you blast off, and it's like I'm like things are shooting at me, or I'm going around a corner, or I go off the path because I see like a box I want to loot, and then it's like, oh, where the fuck am I? And I got to open the map again, and I felt like every couple of minutes I was like, world map, oh, I've got to go here, world map, and because I was having trouble with the GPS system in general, like there was a bug with the GPS system, sometimes I'd open the map and it'd just be looping back to where I was, and it was like,
so when you told
really
me this like I think it was maybe even around the preview stage, I can't remember now, but you mentioned this to me because we obviously chat a bit about it because we're both big fans of the series, and it really worried me. But come final score, so to speak, come Judgment Day, literally, it's you love it clearly, and so does that just stop being, because it's maybe we play differently, but my concern is like, I am going to be menu close, move, menu.
I got used to it, and why I got used to it was because you start to get a feel after a few hours. You start to get a feel for what you're seeing. So at first you'll be powering along a road, you'll open your map as a question mark, and you'll look around and it's a big tower, or it's a big, like there's these massive diggers, like ridiculously huge, gigantic skyscraper sized earth moving equipment, which you can climb up to, and you get all these things give you a collectible that is something, like it'll be a storage deck upgrade, because that's different now. You just complete challenges and you get storage deck upgrade points. So you don't have to go anywhere to do it. No, you don't have to go anywhere to do it.
What's your storage deck? Because I not played
I want to know what the storage deck is.
So in Borderlands, your storage deck, as they call it, an SDU, is a storage deck upgrade. You used to have to go to a town, find a vendor, pay them a certain amount of money, and you could increase your ammo capacity for every weapon.
It's inventory,
your backpack,
isn't it, basically?
Your bank, your loot, your inventory.
Right.
So now, instead of having to go and find a vendor, you'll climb one of these towers, or you'll find a secret like Borderlands logo on the wall, or you'll find a special book, or whatever the collectible is. There are like 10 different kinds of collectibles. You'll find one of those and it'll go bing and you get storage deck points, and then you go into your storage deck upgrade and you just upgrade it. So again, it's just streamlined these processes, and it does the same with the vehicle. You can summon it anywhere. You don't need to go anywhere. There's no vehicle stations. You just press a button and you spawn the vehicle unless you're indoors. And and when you get off it, it just vanishes. It doesn't crash. It just disappears. It just zaps away like the guns do, because Borderlands has got the same thing that Destiny has, where when you put a gun away, it teleports somewhere. When you get it out, it teleports back. It's like that.
Yeah, but like, let's not.
That's the
no
law.
one's ever going to be trying to pretend Borderlands was ever being anything other than a video game. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's game the game.
And it does that. And this is the other thing as well that I really, really liked about Borderlands 4 is that Borderlands was kind of wacky for its time. If you play the original Borderlands now, it's incredibly limited because it was the first sort of one of its kind, really. And then Borderlands 2 dialed it up. I remember when Borderlands 2 came out and I was like, it blew me away with how much it advanced. And then you had the pre-sequel, which kind of was just more Borderlands 2.
With an annoying oxygen mechanic.
Yeah. And then you had
3 was kind of more of the same, wasn't it?
I liked Borderlands 3, but the trouble with Borderlands 3 was Handsome Jack was lightning in a bowl. Right, Handsome Jack, the villain of Borderlands 2 and he's not the villain in the pre-sequel, he's on your side. Yeah. But Handsome Jack as a character was lightning in a bowl. Like they got like Tina, like they got the right voice actor and they just said, here's some lines, but you're funny, do what you fucking like. And I can't remember who does the voice for Handsome Jack, but he's a genius. And so when they came to Borderlands 3, it was like, how do we get somebody who's that? How do we? And they went the wrong way. The main villains are like influencers, and they're just obnoxious. And it's not just that, but they keep fucking winning in the story. So they
I
win,
don't think
and
the playable Vault Hunters they didn't feel
there's
kind of
not
exciting like the previous games had in 3.
None of them
for me.
have. See, this is the thing. It's telling to me.
We should.
that
Sorry,
original,
Mick. We should just explain because I know Lyle and Steve haven't played. The Vault Hunters are the playable characters.
The 4
but
characters.
what makes the difference is that, like, where in most games you've got like a class like healer, blah blah blah. These are more outlandish. Like in 3, and like in 3 you had was it 3? I think we had the guy with the hawk. Was that 3?
Yeah, no, that was in 1.
What?
That was
okay,
in 1,
well,
yeah.
in 3 there was
Mordecai
definitely in 3 there was one you could summon a mech suddenly and
yes, yeah.
And I just the ones in 3 just I don't know, they just
they're just lacking a little bit.
Well, for what Mick said, like he wacky's it's on the money. That's a perfect description for me. So to go from a game where you can summon a hawk because you're a sniper and you've got a hawk that you can summon things into, press a button and you're getting a mech. It's like, there's lots of games that do mechs. This doesn't feel clever and silly and exciting.
And it was a really clunky mech. I tried playing that character for a lot. But this is it's very telling that in every game, pretty much except the pre-sequel, because it's set before, but in every game since 1, the main Vault Hunters of 1 have featured as NPCs, because they're like, everyone knows who, like, everyone who knows Borderlands knows who Lilith is, knows who Roland is, knows who Brick and Mordecai. They know these 4 characters, and they show up as like major NPC quest givers in 2. There's a whole big storyline with Roland because like he dies early, like in 2, and then the whole Tiny Tina thing is about her relationship with Roland. There's all these really sweet elements and like all that stuff that they really did. But then every Vault Hunter group since then has kind of just been just 4 characters, or like I think
3 really
felt
like that for me. 3
I think you can play as Claptrap in Borderlands 2. Claptrap's one of the classes, but then like in this, it's more of the same, but they have a lot more or I feel like they have a lot more personality. Like the Vault Hunters are visible in cutscenes, so there's actual cutscenes where the Vault Hunter is there doing stuff, talking. So they're not just like, it's not just like you're seeing something and you get a voice
you're being
line.
talked at, you're part of it.
It comes out of that, and it gives you the character, like it just again like Destiny, and your characters walking around with the Vault Hunters wearing all this, with the characters wearing all the stuff you've put on them because it's customizable.
Does it do that in the cutscenes? Does it, whatever you're wearing?
Yeah. So it gives you
sounds
that
like a fucking endeavor when it comes to a game like this loot level.
But it gives you that connection to the characters.
Damn it.
But it's like it. So what they did with this is they've dialed it. So the main bad guy is just a bad guy. Like, he's not zany. He's not like, there's some fucking crazy shit in it. It's Borderlands. But the main bad guy, they haven't gone, let's try and do a handsome chap. They've gone, this guy's an evil bastard. His minions are all evil bastards. But how do we find like the levity in it? Where's the humor in that? And it's not done in such a way. Like, for example, one of the side quests, and there's a side quest that you can be in a side quest and find another side quest, and then find another side quest while you're doing the second side quest from the first side. So there's side quests everywhere. And one of them, you walk into this town, and icons will appear on the map that says there's a side quest there. But like up until you get close to it, there's nothing there. So you don't know you're walking into a side quest. You get an exclamation mark will appear when you get in proximity. And this voice starts talking, GG, and it's like, and you look around, and then you get a quest marker will say find Gigi, right? So you find Gigi, and I will spoil this little quest, and Gigi's a missile. Gigi is a sentient missile that has been launched, and she's failed to explode. And she's now been like made the centerpiece of this town, and it's piss take of Fallout. It's basically a piss take of Fallout. You've got this missile in the middle of town, and they've put like a little arch around her and put flowers on her and shit, and they've turned it into like a feature in the middle of town. And Gigi just wants to explode. So like the quest is find me a new casing, find me a new guidance system.
Yep.
And then let me realize my dream of exploding, because she explains that she's too old, because her life's supposed to be measured in nanoseconds, and she's been stuck in this town for what she feels like is an eternity, and she just wants to explode. So like so it's got little quests like that are just so like they're quintessentially Borderlands. Do you know what I mean?
It's
you know, you help a gang of thieves orchestrate this massive heist that goes on for several missions, and I won't spoil it, but when you find out what the heist is for, it's just like this is. And you just remember,
no other game
playing ball. No other game would have me, you know, do this. Of course, your reward is guns. Like no matter what.
So I was going to ask about this. Like,
how are you with guns?
That's the biggest thing I ever take away from Borderlands. It's always guns everywhere.
Yeah, but like a lot of the talk is going to be because how do you? It's a first-person shooter, right?
Yeah.
It's not. You're not going to play Borderlands 4 and go, my God, the shooting's like completely different. It's going to feel how you want the shooting to feel because it's a fourth. I mean, it's not actually the fourth, but the fourth numbered Borderlands game. And I think that's in a way telling because I think you haven't sort of sat there and said, oh God, if they could just get this. You haven't done that. And that in itself. Because even if the story's just all right,
I tell you what I really like about this. But
that's an improvement, man. That's a big improvement.
Because I tell you what they've done is they've stripped. So, right, it's still got Borderlands-y elements. There's still the Iridium. You're still looking for vaults. You've still got returning characters. I won't say who, but there are characters from several previous games. But they've kind of stripped away all that bullshit. Ultimately, it's literally a game where you have 3 districts, you liberate the districts, and the NPCs in the district join your army, and you go for the bad guy. That's what the story is. It's very much like, let's strip out all the nonsense of travel here, and I go back here, and like it feels a lot more, like I said, streamlined. But yeah, it's Borderlands, so it's just like you've got. So by the time you hit level 20, it takes you to level 20 to unlock all of your slots in your inventory so you can actually equip things. So, because I played multiplayer with one of the devs, and even he was like, have you not got class mods yet? And I was like, no. And he was like, I can't remember when you unlock them. And it turns out it's level 20. It goes bing and you unlock class mods.
How long does that take, Mick, give or take?
It took me about 12 to 15 hours-ish.
That's not a massive grind then to get
I think
it's not like
the
that you're
cap
not
is
getting
about,
anything while you're not, there's other things will unlock, I would imagine.
Well, once you hit end game, once you hit sort of what they consider end game, once you hit level 30, you unlock like gear score, so it changes. It becomes about like improving
really is standing Destiny, like what you're saying.
Yeah,
a lot of this.
And it's like, well, it's not quite gear score, but it's basically that. So basically you'll just loot forever. And there's raids and there's repeatable bosses.
That's Borderlands, but when you literally said gear score, it sort of made me go, well, I like Destiny. But it's Karma, okay, fair.
It's end game grind, and like, but because it's Borderlands, because it's like there's so much randomness. So like, you can have like you pick up enhancements which will enhance specific elements of your character build. So like they might just improve your gun damage and splash damage and reload speed and all that. That's one thing. And you've got your energy shield, which has any number of, I don't know how many, fucking 3 or 4 dozen different effects it can have, where like sometimes they'll explode and freeze enemies. Sometimes when your shield goes down, you'll instantly heal. Sometimes when your shield goes down, it'll launch rockets. There's
still got acid ones where you can like
because you've got your corrosion.
Build how you're playing then.
It's radiation, which is corrosion. Then you've got incendiary,
lightning. I would bet
lightning,
fire.
shock, and you've got shock, freeze, incendiary, and corrosion. There you 4. And then there's like also like gravity.
Like you said, heal stuff.
So like, but everything you find, literally everything that drops has random rolls. So the equipment that you find, like even your grenades, like some grenades will bounce, some you throw and it's got like a 12-second fucking delay on it, but the damage it does is insane. So it's like, and then you've got like, I found a minigun. And I was like, oh, cool, minigun, put it on. Like, open my inventory. I can't find the minigun. Where's the fucking minigun? Looking for it. And it equips miniguns, rocket launchers, rail guns in your grenade slot. That's an ordnance weapon. So you click the grenade and then you'll whip out a fucking minigun and you'll just fucking mow things down until the ammo runs.
Like the ones you would have in the previous games are now like
Sounds like anything high damage is getting chucked in that same bit, essentially.
Yeah, no, but the game calls them ordnance. So it does this because then you have certain equipment and stuff that increases ordnance damage, or like when you use an ordnance item, you'll get an overshield. It does things like that. So, and it's about the build. There's so much build diversity in this. And so, like the weapons, for example. So, in a normal game, in any game, you pick up a shotgun and it behaves like a shotgun. Doesn't matter whether it fires quicker, it reloads faster, or it has a different spread, or it has fire damage, or whatever. A shotgun's a shotgun. In Borderlands, a shotgun can mean any fucking number of things. Like, you can have a shotgun that, like, nearly every weapon's got an alternate fire mode. So you can have a shotgun that you pick up, and the primary mode shoots like slow launching energy beams, right? Put the alternate fire mode on, and it says the alternate fire mode consumes assault rifle ammo. That's weird. It's a shotgun, and you shoot it, and it's a fucking rapid fire shotgun that just destroys. And then you've got guns like a pistol. You pick up a pistol. One bullet is it's a normal bullet. You press the alternate mode, and it's got sticky bombs in it, or it'll fire a brace of rockets. Or there's guns where it's a sniper rifle, but the alternate fire mode is like a high-powered fucking railgun beam, or so that And then there's so much randomness to it that it's almost too much, because you'll kill a badass enemy, or which is what they're called if you don't know. You'll kill instead of an elite, it's a badass. So you'll kill a badass enemy, or you'll kill a boss, or even normal enemies, or you'll open a loot cache or whatever. And what it does is guns just go up in the air, and then they all come down, and they're all different colors. Like, you've got your standard blue, green, red, blue, green, purple, gold, and you don't know what you're picking up. So you hoover everything up, and then when it goes quiet and you've got a minute, you go into your inventory and you look at what you've picked up, and you might open a gun and it goes, all the green arrows go up, which I've been trained. My brain has been trained by multiple games. Green arrows, good. So I'll go, right, I'll try that weapon because it's a shotgun and I'm already using a shotgun, but this is a more powerful shotgun. No, this is like a mini fucking rapid fire nuke launcher instead. So it's completely, so I ended up like...
What a lovely surprise for you.
Well, I had a sniper rifle. I had to ask the dev if it was a bug, because I picked up a sniper rifle, and the primary mode is a sniper mode. The secondary mode was an underslung shotgun. And I was like, that's handy, because you got a sniper rifle at range or an underslung shotgun if they get close. No, the lethal range for the shotgun was the same as the sniper rifle. So it increased the damage, but I could scope through the sniper rifle and hit an enemy with multiple shots. But how it regulates that is that you only get so many shots in the alternate mode, and then when it's run out, it has like a 10-second or 15-second cooldown. So you can switch to that, do a ton of damage, switch back to your normal weapon or a different weapon, and let the countdown go. And I said to the dev, I was like, is this bugged? Because I don't feel like I feel like I'm cheating somehow, because I just nuked a guy from across the map with a shotgun. Like, I shouldn't be able to do that. And his exact response was, this is Borderlands, dude. And it was like...
Well, I think if it were me, I'd have said, why? Why? Why can't you do that? Well, because that's not what guns do. And
this is Borderlands, and I think I said it in the review, and it is absolutely a game that they've gone, like, what was wrong with 3? What did people... And I've got to give Gearbox credit for this, because this Borderlands 4 probably would have sold hotcakes anyway. It will sell hotcakes. 3 did. Everyone, the DLC for 3 actually was very, very good. All the DLC for 3 is a lot better than the main game. But they've looked at 3, and they've looked at Tiny Tina's Wonderland as well, and they've gone, what really, really worked in 3? And I think because Tiny Tina's Wonderland did this thing where, because it was fantasy, you had all these spells and crazy abilities. And they've taken a lot of the randomness and craziness from the abilities that were basically spells, and they've put them on guns in Borderlands 4. They've stripped away basically everything that people complained about, like the obnoxious villains, the clunky, like... Some of the storyline in Borderlands 3 was like, no, I've got to go back here again and do this conversation. I've got to go back here again and find this. And it was a very tiring campaign in some places. I did like the game, but there were some elements that were just a little bit exhausting. And they've stripped that out. Like, there's, like, critical path in this is so hard to just drive to. And I love games that are like that. It's like Witcher syndrome. It's like, I know I've just got to go up this path, but there's 8 different things to do on that path. And you know what? If I don't choose to do them, it doesn't matter, because if I don't get storage deck upgrade there and don't get a storage deck upgrade there, I'll get one a bit later from somewhere else. Or if I don't go and get that sort of collectible now, it's appeared on my map now, so I'll come back later for it, because I want to advance the story for a bit.
I like it when a game lets it it's moment to moment fit your mood like that. Like if you're in the mood for just progressing story, fine. If you're in the mood to like boost yourself a bit, upgrade, find something you can do that. I like it when a game's designed to fit the mood you're in.
Come in and like Uber for an hour rather than doing anything else.
I might only have half an hour. I can't really be. I haven't got time to progress the story.
And you can just blast and level up for a bit.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I'll go clear this place. Or like, so there's 2 different kinds of fast travel. So there's the main fast travel, which is 3 kinds, I guess. So the main fast travel hubs are like the cities. So not cities, but they're like
hubs,
the headquarters of places, hubs. Yeah. So, and they'll have everything you need in them. And then you've got 2 different. You've got safe houses and silos, and they need to be sort of liberated. So the silos, you just sort of go in, you sort of kill everything that's in there, and then you capture the place. And then safe houses, you have to find, which I didn't realize, this is the ones I said to you, I think this is bugged because I couldn't work out how to capture this place. And it's not, you just have to find a data pad which is somewhere around the vicinity of it. Might be down, like the one I was looking for was off a cliff, and like I looked down and something started glinting, and I went, oh, fuck, it's down there. So you find the data pad, and then Echo, your little robot that appears and helps you out, he'll pick it up, and then the thing will open and you can go and capture the thing. But because you can only fast travel to those places, when you want to fast travel somewhere, usually you'll fast travel to one of these places and you'll still need to travel a little bit somewhere. So instead of just being able to travel to every node you find on the map, you have to travel to certain places, and then it encourages you, then you still have to engage with the world a little bit. You still have to go, right, I know where I'm going, but I've still got to drive there now. And then something different might happen, like a boss might spawn in, or an enemy, a patrol might attack and drive you off the path, and then you find something new. I mean, one time I got blasted off the edge of a cliff during a fight, and I landed like down 2 cliffs, because there's no fall damage, you can just fall forever and hit the deck. And I landed and I turned around, and there was a thing which is like a traveler shrine or something, and it's basically something you pray to, and then obviously it showers you with guns. But like, I didn't know they existed, I didn't know it was there, I just found it because something kicked me off a cliff basically. And like, because it does things like that, it's not emergent gameplay, but it's sandboxy, because you're kind of just making your own fun. Like, you can go and do as much story as you want, and I'd encourage people to play the story, because it's, you know, once you get into the end game, you've got all the freedom you want to do anything you want to do. But it is very it's very free in how you do things. Like, you, so
it's
even
on Game Pass.
Is it?
Are you just? Oh no, I'm sorry. Lyle got it.
No,
Lyle got it. Thank you, Lyle.
Don't worry.
To be clear, it is not on Game Pass.
It probably will be. Some of them have been, but
it is not on Game Pass.
No, it's not on Game Pass now. But yeah, even like how you liberate the places, again, you can do it in whichever. Like, you kind of funnel to the first one, but then the next one you can sort of pick between, do I go left into, and it's biomes. Like, I'm in the grass biome, then there's a desert biome, and then there's a snow biome. But
this is going to consume the living shit out of me. Like, I feel like it's been a long time since it has been a long time since there's a whole new generation of consoles.
But what was Tiny Tina's on? Was that last gen as well?
Last gen. Ooh.
It was it bridged, because I had it on PS5, but I've got it. I also had it on PS4. Yeah. It was on both.
I feel like it's only been 5 minutes since that.
No.
Tiny Tina's Wonderlands was brilliant. I think I played quite a bit of that with Chris and Adam, and it was that was good fun.
I do want to add that just briefly. We will move on, because we obviously have other games we want to chat about. But it's worth mentioning that one of the things that Tiny Tina's did, I think, so well was the online co-op, and how it was persistent whoever's world you're in. And this does the same. And Mick does say that in the review, but just in case you don't like reading. But it also gives you another chance to say, go and read Mick's full review on lootlevelchill.com. Go
Quick one
and
before
watch it. You know,
go away from it because my level of ignorance. Is there a PvP mode as well? Is it all just co-op?
It's always
It's
co-op.
co-op.
Yeah.
Right,
Just PvE. Yeah, just PvE. Yeah.
I wouldn't
just showing off my ignorance for a bit, you know.
I wouldn't want to say hand on heart that there was never a mode, and I think that even Tiny Teens had this where you could do like a standoff against your mate.
Yeah,
in
I
one of the
remember
Borderlands,
that
you
sort
could
of
like do like a melee attack at each other, and it would initiate. But that's not PvP. That's just a silly bit of fun you could do.
A little bit of a distraction.
What do we want to talk about next? Do we want to talk
What are you
about?
offering?
I'm not offering anything. I mean, I'm just listening. But like, we can either go to Steve, talk about Silksong, and because it's almost like we're doing a long-term review in progress in terms of like a progress update. We won't do it every week, obviously.
For
Next week
the
is
whole
story.
rest of the year,
ongoing
every
series.
week.
Yeah.
Or we could go to Lyle and talk about some Kirby.
It might be nice to end on the pink guy. Maybe just get a bit of Silksong argument out of the way.
I think that makes the most sense because I think there's going to be.
We don't end on a horrible note, do we?
Yeah, and it might.
Why would it be a horrible? We all like Silksong except Adam.
There we go.
That's dirty.
I haven't even played it and never will, so I'm just being a bastard.
But Steve, you took. Do you want to go, or shall I just get what I have to say out of the way?
Get it out of the way. We'll discuss it as we go.
Right. My impressions upon Silksong are very similar to Hollow Knight. Weirdly, weirdly that a game that started as DLC I would feel the same way about. I think. Go on.
I was going to say, is it fair to say we both probably about the same amount of hours in this so far? I'm about 7 hours in.
Yes, I would say
so. We're about the same-ish time in there.
Yeah. I think it's a really very well-made game, and I think the original was too. I still maintain that this particular game, Hollow Knight Silksong, is particularly mean-spirited, and I feel that it feels like both Hollow Knight and Silksong. Well, not Hollow Knight. That's not fair. It feels like Silksong was developed in a bubble, in that it's been 7 to 8 years, and it is very much more of that game with new stuff as well. I'm not saying there isn't. Like, don't get that. What I mean is that core design tenets are very much the same. It is not a game you are going to be able to go, I can't beat that boss, I'm going to grind it. This game is very much you either get to the skill level required to beat that boss, or you do not progress, right? And the reason I want to say that...
That's one way of thinking. I don't agree that's strictly true, though.
Well, okay.
There are elements where you can go and you can go and get other things and find alternate routes that will give you abilities, for example, that will help you beat bosses. You and I have both beaten a same boss we discussed.
Yes.
You with way more abilities than I did. That's not me just showing off or anything. But
I had the dash.
I could have gone and got those and made that easier for myself. So you can. It's not a case of you're being funneled to a single point.
That's certain bosses. Check. But that's certain bosses. I'm talking about there are specific skill check, progression-based bosses, and this is why and I will argue it till the cows come home. This is not if I'm writing a listing of this game, when it says genre, I'm writing Souls-like. Then it says subgenre, I'd write Metroidvania. Because I could, it has so many hallmarks of an old-fashioned Souls-like in that
I can agree with
death runs and why I say it's particularly mean feeling, and it might genuinely be that they were making this as because quite often when you get a game like FromSoft do it, they did it with Bloodborne, one of my favourite games of all time. They made this pretty hard base game, and the DLC was fucking hard. Like
really hard, yeah.
Because it was for you. You've been playing over and over. They know people play their games repeatedly. New game plus, and then when they get to the DLC, they don't want to just piss through it. They want it to be a proper challenge, which is what I think Silksong is sort of analogous to. In that this is a step up in difficulty. I think in every way.
There's definitely a jump
Hollow Knight. And the reason, again, I just keep coming back to this, that I feel it can be a mean-spirited game. No, it's not. Listen, I'm enjoying it. I'd stop playing if it was really that egregiously bad. I would be like, no, I'm not playing it. I've no reason to. I paid for it. No one was sent review code for this. I paid for this game. I bought it. I wanted to play it.
I didn't like the fact you used wanted and not want.
Regardless, semantics. I feel like FromSoft, who, I don't know, we can argue this or we can just say it's a thing that most people think. FromSoft, while they were maybe people would argue others have made better Souls-likes than the Souls creators. Demon's Souls, it was their first game. The genre that FromSoft kickstarted took what they did, and the lot of developers, and Mick will know this because he and I have played a fucking lot of Souls games over the years. Some got it wrong, and they misunderstood what made Souls-like so great. Like, some just went, no, it's gonna absolutely destroy you. We hate you. We hate you. We hate you. But the level design's crap. You know, that's always that.
Yeah.
The favorite for me is when a game that's a Souls-like comes out and the level design is like, no, you've grossly misjudged here, because the level design is a key tenet to a core importance level that makes this enjoyable.
Definitely.
I feel like the Surge feels seen.
I'm not naming
that's
names.
fair.
I don't mind those games. Surge 2 is pretty good.
Surge 2 was better, yeah.
But even like games, what I'm trying to get to in a sort of shitty, long-winded way is that while FromSoft are the progenitors of the Souls-like genre. It's called Souls-like. People try and sell Maso.
That says a lot in itself, doesn't it?
A Souls-like genre. While they are the progenitors, even they have looked at what other developers have done with their ideas and gone, that's really clever. We're going to incorporate something like that in our game and make it that bit more malleable and playable and enjoyable without losing the difficulty. I don't feel like Hollow Knight Silksong has at any point done that. And I guess what I'm saying is, and this is why I want to be clear about how it's a step-up difficulty. I don't think Hollow Knight Silksong makes a single concession to what they set out to do based upon, bad example, but Prince of Persia used this map. It wouldn't work. There are certain things that just wouldn't work universe-wise. They wouldn't work.
You're talking about bringing in the new things, the new ideas to sort of freshen it up, maybe, or keep it with current times.
Not just going, that's good, we're nicking that. But seeing a clever idea and going, that sparked us. And I want to be clear about this, really fucking crystal clear about this. I'm absolutely fine with that.
Yep.
But you stick to it. You stick to your guns and you say, no, we know. Again, I'm going to keep using it as a bad example. We know Prince of Persia did this cool map thing. Mandragora probably did stuff like that. Salt and Sanctuary did stuff like, we know they did it. We don't care. This is what we want to make. And if that's that, I will be going like, okay, absolutely fine. I respect that. However, we're a week and a bit since launch, and they're patching things like moving benches and making it easier and making death runs. And so now I'm in this weird nowhere limbo zone of feeling like I would be okay with that. But is that what they did? Or did they just ignore everything else and go, no, we know better? You know what I mean? I'm in this weird, almost emotional limbo.
It's a big jump to assume it's arrogance.
That's why I say
I think that's one of those things that we will never know unless we get some big, deep, in-depth interviews coming up over the next year.
That's
or
why
two.
I feel in emotional limbo, because I feel like I don't know what it is anymore.
I don't. Mick touched upon this earlier. You've got the devs there; they are play testing, and you've got a bunch of guys who've been working on this for literally years at this point with high expectations. These guys will get very, very good at a game, as you said earlier, and maybe they might lose sight a little bit in terms of how difficult this is for the average Joe. That is, a very strong possibility, and maybe this is a reaction to that situation.
But I sort of can't accept that as an excuse, because there's facilities, options, services available to them to get people playtesting this
I
game.
find is that when with what people, so developers who are Souls-like developers, right? So this is what Team Cherry are now. They developed Hollow Knight. Hollow Knight got, and let's not make any bones about this, Hollow Knight got a lot of column inches because it was hard. That was, and because when you create a game that is, and I'm not going to take away from it, when you create a game that is very, very well made, but is also very, very hard. And you don't back down on the difficulty initially. You don't. They didn't with Hollow Knight. They said this is the game that we made. This is how hard it is.
They then added harder stuff too.
Yeah, right. But that's what I'm saying. It becomes this mythological thing where, have you beaten Hollow Knight? Have you beaten all 8 endings of Hollow Knight or whatever? It takes on this mythological thing where now they can't just release a sequel and not try to top that. But what they do is, instead of, like Adam said, instead of going, what can we add? What can we innovate? What can we change? They just go, what people want is difficulty. Let's just fucking double down on that. And then I think they go too hard sometimes. I saw it with Lords of the Fallen did it. Yeah, they go too hard. They did it with Lies of P. They just did it with Lies of P.
Yeah, they've been difficulty modes, haven't
they? They had to, because it got too hard. And the best of it is, the Lies of P guys, they added difficulties and it was still too hard, and they still dialed it back because they'd gone that hard. They'd gone that hard with it. And I feel like Team Cherry have done the same with Hollow Knight. They've gone, everybody wants hard. They want this, they want that. They forget about the people that just kind of really like the game and want to play the game for fun. They don't have difficulties. That's fine if you don't have difficulty levels in your game. I don't demand it. I think it's better when they do.
I'll say I'd rather it. I'd rather an option.
I would rather
it, but they don't. If you spend 20 quid on a game and you can't finish it, or you don't feel you have the dedicated time to get good, I'm not using that. You know what I mean?
I don't particularly like the argument that not everything is for everybody. Like, people like games. Gamers like playing games. A game that feels as good as Hollow Knight, people are going to want to play. If they struggle to beat it,
man, a game. Sorry, just to come back to that, Mick. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. But a game that looks that good, when you walk through a room and see someone playing it, is going to make people go, "Oh, that looks beautiful. I really want to play that."
Oh yeah, it's a shower, isn't it? It looks great.
And listen, perhaps my whinging is losing sight a little bit of what we're talking about the game. Mick, like you said, I'm fine. I would prefer there to be options for people who don't want that challenge and just want to enjoy the visuals and play the game. But if they come out and say, that's the game we made, sorry, I can sit there and go, okay, perhaps you've made that game and it perhaps isn't for me. And I'm not arrogant, and I don't feel like I'm like, well, why can't I play it? I can happily go, I got enough to play. There is no shortage of video games anymore. That is not an argument I can make and go, well, I really wanted to play it. I got nothing. That's a lie. That'd be a lie.
And we've all pushed through games that were fucking hard because we loved them. Like, we've all done that.
And I still am. But the problem with it is now we've hit already. We're saying all this about this patch that makes certain bosses easier, the currency stuff. Are we going to do that again next week? Because if we start getting into that, we're getting messy.
It does bring up a question, doesn't it? Yeah, for sure. It's
and that's why I said about emotional limbo. Is that I mean, what did you say to me earlier, Steve? You said to me about, I want to get that boss done before the patch updates on Switch.
Yeah, I've got a personal vendetta against the boss that I've bumped heads with a few times. I want to get it done before that gets patched and made easier.
Yeah,
it's a little bit of my own little badge that I want.
I think you're doing yourself down there. I think it's absolutely fair to say I want to beat that boss before they make it easier. Not because it's not arrogance. It's not
a personal challenge.
It's just you kind of want to beat the original vision.
Yeah, I think that, and I'd like to think that they've had this vision and they will stand by it. The patching thing makes that more difficult to justify, I guess. But in terms of having these revelatory new additions and things, I don't think they ever wanted to have that. I don't think it's arrogance. I think it's just a case of them having their own vision from the off. Maybe it is a bit of a hangover from this originally being intended as DLC, and it took them on a certain path from then, and they stuck with it because they know it works, and that's what they've been good at making. I mean, Hollow Knight went on to sell, was it like 15 million? Something like that?
The fact they were able to not release a new game in 8 years means it sold a lot.
Enough. It did okay, obviously. Well, enough to then bring it out at 16 quid now and be like, there you go.
Yeah,
so I'd like to think it's their conviction and standing by it and going, this is what we started with. We're going to see this through, and this is how it needs to be. Not necessarily adding in these new things, shining. Oh, we've done this new and changing it all. The fan base is so strong for this, man. Like online, they've been ravenous for this game for years, and they know what they wanted, and I feel like this has given that to them. I don't know. It's one of those things that we probably never will know. But
and I should say, look, I am ramping it up a bit for the pod. Like, obviously, it's an entertainment form. Like, you know, it is. There is a little bit of it, like, because I am still playing it, and I definitely, and I said it, you know, and before, I could just play one of let's be conservative and say 10 other things at the moment. I could play one of them,
10.
but I did today. I went away for a holiday, and I came back, and the first game I played since getting back is Silksong. So, like, and that's a choice. And there's been other stuff that's dropped since then. You know, I'm really excited to play Borderlands soon. Other stuff we can't talk about. You know what I mean? Like, but I played Silksong, so there's no part of me that can be like, oh yeah, nah, don't buy it as shit, because I can't. I'm playing it still.
Is it part of that? Like, I remember, I wasn't a part of it back in the day when Demon Souls and Dark Souls were first out there, and there's almost this like collaborative effort for everyone learning as we go and passing on that information. You know, that's
Demon
far
Souls
easier
was...
now via like shorts or any social media you might go onto.
Mick,
but there's this feeling of everyone's learning as we go, and information's getting passed around.
Demon Souls was pretty unpopular at launch.
But it created, from my knowledge of it, created this little community of everyone passing around stuff you've never seen before. Yeah. And it's not exactly the same as that, but everyone's learning in real time because everyone got this at the same time. It's not like you can now go onto YouTube and go, right, give me a guide for all of this area, all the ways I should be doing this, because that stuff isn't available yet. People are still working.
No,
it is.
Well, even now it's not, though, not comparatively. Like, I know for a fact that stuff that I've only played at launch as consumer, I could go and see a full guide on it instantly. Those kind of things I would expect to see still don't exist. Oh, here we are, a week later?
I think maybe our feeds are curated differently because I've been getting nothing but like, hey, this is the thing you need to do in Silksong. And I'm like, ooh, what is it? Oh,
yeah,
sorry,
but that's not the same as going on and saying, I want a full walkthrough guiding me through every moment, which is there for pretty much any other game once it's out. They're two quite different things.
Yeah, remember though, this did not have a... This didn't go out pre-release. Like most of those guides that hit like Power Picks and people like that, they get pre-release code.
Yeah.
You know,
no, but to be fair, that's what I'm saying.
You've now got this sense of like collaborative learning because people ask information as we go, and it's creating a sense of community for everyone, and I quite like that idea, man. Because I've never really had that with a game before.
Yeah, listen, again, I'm not shitting on it, not really, because I have concerns, just because So I understand this game's big. Like,
yeah, it's bigger than, from what I can tell,
20 hours.
Bigger than I expected it to be.
Like, it's not like I guess your traditional 8 to 12 maybe Metroidvanias, a pretty hefty chunky one.
Souls-like that. Excuse me.
Souls-likes. But those, you know, this does, and again, that's another reason I sort of think of it as more of a Souls-like, because it is I don't actually know. I haven't looked it up, but I'm guessing 20 to plus.
Yeah, I guess we're going to see over the coming couple of weeks and see how long it takes us to get through it all. But
and I do want there's enough ideas that crop up in it that I would like. I'll be honest. I would like I would have liked some of the movement to be a bit tighter, and people are going to be like, "Oh, you're shit." It's got a very specific feel to it. Yes.
And I think you'll either click with it or you won't. I don't have a problem with it at all. I like it. I like how it feels, but I could also see how people could. I
tell you what it does do, and I don't think you'll disagree with this, is that you go away from it and come back like I have done. So like for a week, and I've come back and I'm like, I can't play games apparently because I can't hit anything. I'm just bumping into everything. I'm so crap.
Or the rhythm of trying to do the down strikes on a diagonal, and you'll spend like that first, I don't know, half an hour getting it nailed.
It takes half an hour for me to
go away.
Used to
I can't do this again anymore.
No, it literally takes half an hour for me to get used to playing this game again, because I don't think there's an awful lot out there that feels like it. There are games that look like they feel like it, but there's no games I can think of that actually feel like Hollow Knight feels, which is
it's quite unique in that sense. Yeah. It's also for me, like I've been trying desperately all week to get some time in on it. When you get in from work, this is not a game you're about to pick up and hammer on with 2 minutes in. Like I've been trying that all week and getting my ass kicked, because you need to sit down and give it that time, man. This is not just to pick up and play and enjoy 20 minutes. You've got to give it bit of space to breathe, get back in the rhythm of it all.
But again, I think that's because it looks a certain way that you're like, God, I want to play it just because how it looks. You know.
You want to see what's coming next, like, you know, without being too spoilery, because obviously it is still fresh for a lot of people. Each biome, man, has its own unique look and gives you that. We talked about maps previously, and how you weren't so keen on the map system and how you were having to grab maps in each area, otherwise you're exploring blindly. It's that unique sense of area, obviously, that you will give your own internal map to and start to learn instantly where you are. Certain colour palettes, you go, I'm there, because it's green or it's red or it's blue, which is quite an obvious thing to do.
Yeah.
But there are some stark differences. Like you and I both got to an area at the moment that I think is one of the most depressing areas I've seen in the game for a long while. Just from the color palette and obviously art direction.
I don't want to harp on about the map system too much. I just think it doesn't ever feel quite elegant like I wish it was, because this is another reason why I feel like it's more Souls than it is Metroid, because you're getting a new area and my thing is I need a bench. Because I've got all this shit, I've got a bench, and I don't want to have to trek all the way back here from that last bench I found. I need a bench, and
does that not play to the narrative a lot, though, in your head? Because of the fact you've got Hornet there exploring these lands and doesn't have a fucking clue what's going on. And you are doing exactly the same as she would be.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. In a Souls-like, that's why I'm saying it's a Souls-like, because I have that in a Elden Ring, or where I'm looking for a Sight of Grace, or a Bloodborne, where I'm looking for a Lantern. I'm looking for them because I'm carrying so much goodies. I don't want to lose them and have to trek back here. Because what if I can't even remember how I got back here? I'm just using it to reinforce why I think it's a Souls-like more than a. Yeah.
You know, let's say we've got plenty more of it to play. Who knows what new abilities, areas of stuff's going to come up. So it's something we're going to have to return to and get a final sort of roundup on.
Let's now. It's been out for a couple of weeks because we've talked about it in 2 podcasts. If you had to score it now, and this bears nothing.
Do this every week.
Yeah.
A score every week.
If you had to score it right now, and we're not because we haven't finished it, but if you did have to right now, go. What number?
8.792.
And if you were being serious about that?
8.5.
That's fucking mad, because I would give it 8.5.
There we go.
Fair enough.
You two are fucking weird.
What are we bickering
what the
about?
hell's going on here?
I thought you were going to be like 9.5, 10 or something.
No, I mean, I expect to go higher the more I get in, but I know there's still a lot to go.
Okay.
So I'm kind of hedging my bets a little bit.
Okay, that's fine.
I would hope to end up at least a 9. But I need more time with it first.
That's absolutely fine. Lyle, if you had to score it right now, what would you give Kirby in the Forgotten Land and
SGFC?
Star-Crossed Worlds is the second bit. Did
I get the first bit right?
I think so.
Holy
that's
shit,
what it was in my head too.
No, that's fine. I'm impressed with
that. What's it called?
It is Kirby
What's the
and the Forgotten Lands and Star-Crossed Worlds.
See, this is an important question. Is it or is it plus? Because this is my first question to you.
It might be plus. Let's
all
find
these
out.
Switch 2 editions, all these things they've done, where they've like released a Switch game but with new content. It's done the Bowser's Fury thing, so it's Super Mario 3D World plus Bowser's Fury, and it's a separate thing. On the
no, it is. It's plus. Yeah, it's
so does
plus
this do that?
Does
this do
that?
Not even close.
Entity.
Okay. No, that's fine. I was hoping it would be more. I just wanted, because like Mario Party didn't it? It's like, here's Super Mario Party, here's Jamboree TV,
Bowser's,
but this isn't that.
Yeah.
This is like,
this is just all integrated. You don't. There's no separate mode. There's no separate bit. It's just still called that thing that makes you think it will do that again, but it's not. It's just like, it is just new content in this Kirby game. Now, I didn't play this Kirby game at first. This is my first time playing Kirby and the Forgotten Lands. Is it Lands? Is it Land? Wait, there we go.
This is why I want to hear about it, Max. It's one that I've always had on the backlog, and I want to hear what you think, because I've not picked it up yet.
And for my first time playing this game, it is easily the best Kirby game.
yes,
Like by
100%.
a stretch, by a big stretch.
Yep.
And it's a beautiful, charming, delightful platformer that you just don't want to stop playing.
I've never played a Kirby game.
That doesn't surprise me that much either.
No, I guess it doesn't. But I've never played a Kirby game.
Lyle, I'll say it. I'll take this one for you, Mick. You're not missing much, mate. Really.
I actually quite like Kirby games. Some
of them are all right, but some of them, by the way, are bloody hard.
Killer, man.
Some of them are really hard as well.
But also every modern Kirby game is not hard.
It's beyond easy. Like,
I played the Smash Brothers that he was like the protagonist in, so I'll take it back.
There was a Switch.
One of them
was a Switch or Wii U Kirby game where you could literally, every level early on, you could just, you can hover by just hitting the jump, and you could just hover across the top of every level to the end door. I think it was a Wii U one. It might have been. It was like, this is not that.
Yeah, no, it's not. But also, like, in those games as well, the general thing is like, they're very easy to beat, but there's always some collectible, and that's kind of the point and where the challenge is. Whereas this is like, this isn't that. This is definitely, I mean, it's not a difficult game. You're not gonna grind on bosses. You're not you're not going to need your half hour to get used to it. But it's just like a super charming, like
It's the fucking map, Kirby.
Yeah, it's a 3D platformer, but it's that sort of fixed camera 3D platforming where like you're looking down, you're playing, it's all good, and every stage has like a nice little list of collectibles that you get, or like a list of challenges, and they'll always be get to the end, you'll get so many of the collectible. The collectible is Waddle Dees, the little creatures. So you'll always get a certain amount of them rescued by beating the level. There'll be some hidden in the stage, and then there'll be 3 little bonus goals, and they're different every time, and you don't know what they are until you beat a stage once, and it reveals like them one at a time, basically. But you might just figure it out as you go through, because like for one of them, it's set in like an abandoned like shopping mall, and the thing is eat 4 snacks or something. So you'll like jump, you'll pick up and eat a pretzel because it gives you health anyway, and because it's shining in the corner, and it'll suddenly say like 1 of 4 of them done. So you're like, you'll figure it out as you go. But like all these little challenges are so fun to do, and then with it being a Kirby game, you've also got all the little abilities you've got. So Kirby, he sucks things up right, and then when he eats them, he gets a fun power. That's his whole thing. He's been doing it for a while. He's got a really big mouth. He does big vacuumy sucks. Sorry to say it like that, but he does.
That's a turn of phrase, isn't it?
It is what he does, and it is what they are. I can't say it any other way. I can't be plainer than this.
Well, it even has the big. I think it's been a while. Big mouth mode.
Mouthful mode.
Mouthful mode. Yeah.
Which I don't. It's the first time I've said it out loud, and it's hit me a little bit there.
What ratings this game got?
PG-13 probably. No, it's not. He sucks. I want to say that you suck up a whole car. That's one of them early on.
So yeah, the normal Kirby abilities are like you swallow an enemy, and then he puts on a fun little hat, and he like can swing a sword around, or he can freeze enemies, or he has a hammer now. All these different like little abilities, and they're just fun little platforming abilities and how you can fight enemies and stuff like that. But mouthful mode is you find random like discarded human artifacts like a car, and instead of like Kirby transforming into them, he just sort of like wraps around them.
It's kind of gross when you think about it.
It's sort of horrifying. It's a bit grotesque.
So he basically skins them with himself.
He does. He skins them with himself, and like you can usually see like a bit of them at the bottom where he's like he didn't fit round them properly. He's not got enough skin to wrap all the way around. Yeah. So then he'll be a car. I want to say
you're over-egging it, but that is exactly what happens.
Exactly that, and it's sometimes cute and it's sometimes horrible, and it sort of depends on what direction your brain's sort of cranking on that day. But yeah, like so you can be a car and you'll drive around as a car for like a fun little like there'll be a fun little obstacle course you can do as a car, or you can suck up like a traffic cone, and when you jump you can turn upside down and smash into things. You turn into a staircase all the time. You're always turning into staircases, and so you can move the staircase somewhere different, and then you can climb up the staircase. Hooray, that's a fun little thing you can do.
I'm assuming the little challenges that you were talking about can be dependent on some of these then, like you might need to use that car to finish that challenge at the time.
Yeah, 100%. Or like
it sort of varies it, doesn't it?
But it varies it constantly every time. So like you'll never really know
stuff. By the way, does it? Like I was going to say, I don't want to. If you were to tell me this is a game made by the Mario team, I would be like, fair enough.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I can feel
that level of like.
It's that level of just...
I think so. Like at the time, I was more surprised when it first came out. I was surprised people weren't raving about this as much, because I think it's
and I think they did still rave about it more than pretty much any other Kirby game that I've really looked at the reception of. Yeah, and I think a lot of the reason it maybe wasn't raved about is that a lot of people looked at it and went, "Oh, Kirby game, all right," and then didn't play it, like me and Steve did.
And I want to say that either just before or just after, Nintendo released a remake of a Wii Kirby game, so it wasn't like we hadn't had a Kirby game for years. It was like that Kirby had been fairly well. I think there was also wasn't there at some point a free Kirby game on Switch as well, like a gacha.
There's been a few free Kirby games over the years.
Yeah, they have.
It's all blend into one in my head.
Yeah, where Odyssey came and it was the first Mario in a while, or whatever, like or DK Bonanza was like the first one in a while. Yeah. This Kirby had not been one of the underutilized mascots, but I just think it's I really do want to. I don't really 100% understand what the new content is.
Oh, well, isn't it a good job that I'm here and I've played it and I know all this stuff? Right. So what Star-Crossed Worlds, what plus Star-Crossed Worlds is basically every world in the game. I need to very quickly say, by the way, that the setting of this game is fucking amazing, and that's kind of a big part of it. It's you expect your standard mascot platform that has all the like normal worlds of like it's a desert one, it's a snow one, and it's kind of that, but also the entire game is like post-apocalyptic, like abandoned civilization underneath that. So like
Big Blob in The Last of Us, then, yeah.
I mean, it is. It's like that, but it's like if The Last of Us was more colourful, and the scariest thing was Kirby himself. And yeah, so you'll get to a world and it'll be like, okay, well, this standard grass world, you do one level and there's still a little bit of background ruined civilization, but then you get to another and it's the abandoned shopping mall and stuff like that, and then you'll go, one world is just entirely abandoned theme park, and obviously it's the best world because it's fucking awesome. Yeah, and like it's just so that overall setting's great. And now what happens in plus Star-Crossed Worlds, which I'm going to keep calling it that, is
correct title.
It is. I'm being correct. Yeah. So what happens in plus Star-Crossed Worlds is, so every world in the game now gets 2 more levels, basically, which is this big shiny meteors come down and it sort of like infects 2 levels in each world, and you play them again, but they're completely different. And
that sounds like comets from Mario Galaxy.
Yes. Oh yeah.
Kind of, yeah. But it's like, so what these things do is like they basically make loads of surfaces really shiny, and they're a little like sort of shiny blobs, which I'm sure have a proper name. But every time you hit them, it'll sort of spread this starry, ethereal surface across the world, and maybe give you a path to go somewhere else, or just sort of affect it a bit. Like there's a water world where whenever you like activate one of these sort of weird bits, like it drains the water and you're suddenly walking on the ocean floor. And they have all these like really cool ways that they interact with these already like interesting worlds, and it just means that you're going back to each of these sort of areas, but they've put this sort of completely different spin on each level. They've made there be a bit more of a theme about it, and then it also, like, the visuals are fucking gorgeous. Like, they're such a showcase. Like, it felt like this entire theme of make everything shiny and different is like, we can really show off on the Switch 2 with this, right?
Oh.
So, like, it's just like it is visually delightful and lovely, and and like every world of this game anyway is like sort of 5 to 6 stages long. So it's, when you do that, to add 2 stages to every world, it's like it's a big chunk of content extra, you know? Like these are big. They still have the same side objectives type things to go through. They still have all the different powers and things you suck up.
Are those levels any more challenging than the base levels? Or is it just
maybe a little, maybe a bit, but
right,
not like.
I'm going to be adding more challenge with it.
Don't they have some new mouthful objects in the new levels?
I didn't play originally, right? So
okay,
I'm not as certain on that. I know there's not any new like actual transformation powers.
Okay,
like the
I was going to ask that.
ones.
I just want to say I remember seeing a trailer or something that was like new mouthful modes, or not mouthful modes, mouthful things.
Yeah,
objects.
whatever you'd call it.
But still, if you're saying that's 2 levels per world.
And I think it's 6 or 7 worlds total.
Yeah,
so
it's a good chunk. It's over 10 levels.
A bit then.
Yeah, it is a big chunk of levels. It feels like a lot of extra game. And I mean, I know I didn't play it originally, but just it being there, I can tell it's a lot of extra game.
It's a good chunky game anyway. Well, it depends how you play. I mean, I like to go, if I missed stuff, I'd like to go back, if not straight away, at least before I finish that world. I'd like to
100%.
Am I right in thinking it's relatively inexpensive DLC if you own the base game as well already?
I think it's the same one they've been doing with like everything. Like it's, I'll be pulling the figure out. Yeah, but between 10 and 20.
Yeah,
it sounds like it's something you've already had as the base game.
Well, there's also a weird thing. There's a weird thing like they've patched. Oh, what did they do? I saw this midweek somewhere. So a lot of what they've been doing is like you don't get the visual bump on Switch 2 unless you buy the upgrade, right? I think that was the thing with Mario Party.
And is the visual bump applying to the entire game then? Not just
yes, when you buy the Switch 2 version.
It's not like you've gone through the first few levels and suddenly it's like, whoa, that looks
no.
Holy shit.
The frame rate is obviously much smoother as well in the Switch 2 version. Like I haven't played it, but I'm guessing Lyle can tell us it's like 60 frames and
super silky smooth. Like load times feel like nothing every time you jump into levels, stuff like that. Like it feels very, very well optimized.
But I want to say they have released like a separate update after the release that was for the something. It did something that wasn't part of the. I don't know. You know what? I'd rather.
Is this
not.
just the confusing world of Nintendo and the Switch?
Yeah, I think it is.
Crossover games.
I really do want. Like, I could be honest with you. I could just go for playing this game again anyway. I never got around to replaying it, and it is. I mean, I'm here going, oh, people weren't raving about it. I mean, I didn't replay it. I should have. It's a really wonderful game. Like it to me is 100%. Like, you know how. I know you haven't played Bonanza, Lyle, but like, you know what Bonanza is for DK. This is that for Kirby. Like this is. It sort of reminds me in ways like the world set up is of like Mario 3. Nearly said 3D. Mario 3. The way it had that overworld map and everything, and it just feels. Yeah. It's a wonderful, charming game, and I know that's a word. Charm is a word people use in Nintendo, but there's a reason for that, you know.
Yeah, and this is one that I think really deserves that for a multitude of reasons. Like it's not just, you know, a colourful platformer. Like it's got this interesting world. It's got these different like challenges and reasons to go back, and it's just like it's so fun to play. It's an absolute blast. Like I've not wanted to play much else when I've had the opportunity to, you know, play anything. I just wanted to keep doing it. And if you haven't played it yet, Steve / anyone else,
well, get on it ASAP.
Like this is one of those that you, like, you know, if this is your kind of shit, it will really be your kind of shit. Even if you're not
kind of shit, man, you know that.
100%, yeah. Like, yeah, you'll love it, Steve, for sure. Like I have no doubt in my mind on that one. But
same.
I love it too. It's really, really good.
Awesome.
Well, before we wrap up the pod this week, I just wanted to very quickly talk about one game I've been playing, and not a lot of, but I actually to the point where I might have to talk about it again in a week or so's time. There was a lot made of Star Wars Outlaws on Switch 2 before it was available, and I have now investigated that for myself, and I'm not going to be sitting here like going, I'm the first to do it. I know other people have done it, but like I didn't know what to expect. If I'm honest with you.
People were talking some shit, weren't they, basically?
They were. I knew it wasn't going to be like 60 frames. Like, it's not. And I've only played it in handheld so far, so I'll be interested to see how it looks on the big screen sort of thing. But I've had a weird relationship with Switch 2 in that, like, so Cyberpunk is impressive in a lot of ways on Switch 2, that you're like, oh, this is cool. This really bodes well for third parties on Switch. And then you play something else, and I'm not going to name names because I can't think of one offhand, where you're like, I kind of hope this would look a bit better, or play a bit better, or be a bit smoother. You're like, oh shit, are we going to be? Is the cycle going to repeat? You know, where this becomes a Nintendo machine with sometimes some indie games on it, but generally not third parties because they just can't compete. Now look, again, Star Wars Outlaws doesn't run at 60 frames per second in handheld mode. It doesn't, but it's pretty stable. 30, like, and honestly, kind of impressed for a handheld console to. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's not. I don't know what they've done, and maybe it's not motion blur because I play with that off, so I don't know what it is. But there's something going on that initially, you know, when you change a game, it doesn't happen so much now. But you know, when you change a game from say performance mode to fidelity mode, and there's like a big. Do you know what the one I would say? Star Wars Jedi shit. What was the last one? The last Respawn one. Star Wars Jedi Survivor.
Jedi Survivor.
Like that when it first came out, you switch between the modes, and it's like. Oh, I'm gonna be sick. Like
it's just as soon as you spin the camera, it's horrendous. Like
so, with this, it starts and you can very much straight away go, "Oh, that's not smooth as a 60 frames per second game." But within a few seconds, you're like, "But it is smooth." So they've done something to not make it feel bad when you're playing it. And I've kind of wanted to go back to this game for fucking ages because the complaints I had about it were like the instant stealth fail stuff that was like, oh, and I mentioned that like when I previewed.
I remember you having a few things you were
yeah,
but they've changed a lot of that, and there's a lot of it even in the UI and stuff, and I'm like, was that there? Because what I felt like they did nail, it's ironic really. What I felt they nailed about Star Wars Outlaws when it first came out was the Star Wars-ness of it, the feeling of being that you're not a badass Jedi lightsaber dude or woman. You are just some kind of bounty hunter almost, and it's like it nails that feeling of being in the universe, walking around the cantinas, getting jobs, playing certain factions against another. It really nailed that, but it felt let down to me because you could just be like, it would give you this real I feel like I'm in the Star Wars universe mode, and then it would take it away because you would be in someone's base, get spotted, and it would go failed, and it would literally come up on screen as like failed mission because you're stealth. And from what I understand, they've dialed all that back and changed it. And I'm kind of that would be cool. And I'm not one. I'm sorry. I'm Mick. I know you'll be with me on this. I'm not a hater of Ubi. I like the video games they make. Pretty much, generally speaking, most of their franchises.
Even made bangers.
I wish they still made games like Rayman and Would Grow Home and all that.
Yeah, we knew that was coming.
Hearts, Child of Eden, stuff like that. I wish they still did those sort of experimental, less billion-selling, things that got made into movies. But I generally find I quite like and gel with their games, and I think a lot of people have aped what they do in those games. A lot of what Mick was talking about in Borderlands sounded like a bit Ubisofty.
Definitely had Ubi overtones.
So yeah, I'm gonna keep playing on Switch too because I'm quite impressed. Like from all the pre-release stuff that people had seen it, and I don't know what that was all about really. Because I'm like,
does it lend itself well to being handheld and just pick up and play for like a short blast? Or is it another one you need to spend a few hours at a time to really?
Well, you can chip away at the open world like in a Ubisoft game, so you can do that. What I will say, and this is a Switch 2 thing, not a Ubisoft game, not a Star Wars thing, is I found after a lot of time with the Switch 2 now that my preferred way to play handheld mode is to prop the Switch on something and use a controller in my hand, because I think it's a little too heavy to play long time handhelds with.
Really?
So
what you need, Adam, is some of these little bad boys on it. It makes all the difference. Random plug, not sponsored, just so you know, but they are basically a grip to put on your Switch, and it makes it so much better. Just having
I've got one for the Steam Deck actually.
Oh,
no,
it makes all the difference, man.
But I like I'm kind of in love with that new Pro controller. It feels something magic. So I quite like just popping it on the corner of the sofa and just playing it like that. And so so it's difficult to say about.
To randomly digress from there, when you've gone from your Pro controller back to Joy-Con, do you miss the extra buttons?
No, I don't use the extra buttons.
Oh, see, I use them all the time. I've mapped them for so many different things. And now I go back and pick that up and I'm like, oh, that's gone.
I'll be honest, outside of reviewing the Switch 2 hardware, I tend to not use the Joy-Cons very much at all, unless it's a multiplayer situation, because I just enjoy the traditional feel of a controller. But yeah, Star Wars Outlaws, if you were like on the fence thinking, I'm a bit worried about what I've heard, again, I haven't played it to completion. I downloaded my save from PlayStation because you could do the Ubisoft Connect thing, which, by the way, still works in every single game. It seems you just have to. Unfortunately, I did have to re-download the game and then upload my save. That's first world problems, isn't it? It worked straight loaded. It did crash. The game crashed once in my sort of hour or so, and then it didn't crash again. So it was just a random crash. I would say from what I played of it, quite impressive. If you've got a Switch 2 and not another console and you want a handheld version of this game, fair play to them.
It bodes well for the future of third parties.
Bodes well for me for thinking about, would you please release Assassin's Creed Shadows on Switch 2? That would be an interesting one to see.
If only there was some sort of direct that would maybe talk about games.
If only.
Yeah, if only that's a thing that could happen. Oh well, I guess we'll just have to time travel and come back and do a pod about that another time. Thank you to Mick, thank you to Steve, thank you to Lyle, and thank you to the games that have made this podcast possible. They have been fun this week, even the hard ones, Steve. If you enjoyed this podcast, you can go to patreon.com/lootlevelchill and you can help us out financially there. If you enjoyed it but didn't know, you can watch a video version where you can go to YouTube at lootlevelchill. We're on Blue Sky and all that sort of stuff. But yeah, the main thing you can do to help us out is to go to patreon.com/lootlevelchill, where you'll find our Discord, a bonus pod every week that's varying. We're going to do a new quiz this week, so hopefully people will subscribe, follow, support. No, really, whatever word you want to use, and we will see you in the Discord as well. But that's it. Thank you for listening, watching, however you consume. We'll speak to you next week or whenever you choose to listen. Bye bye for now.